So, the 2024 Game Awards brought a lot of exciting news. We got word of many new games, including The Outer Worlds 2, an Okami sequel, a new Elden Ring game, and much more. But I think it's fair to say that the biggest talking point from the show is the new Witcher 4 trailer. The trailer is playing now in the background. It showed a lot of action, it was dark, it was exactly what we would want from a new Witcher game. Except, one thing was missing. Geralt of Rivia. Now, Geralt has been the main character for every Witcher game to date, and this will be the first one without him. Now, for Witcher fans like myself, this should be no shock at all. Witcher 3's Blood and Wine expansion seemed like the perfect send-off for this character, living a retired life out in the countryside of Beauclair, and even talking to the player breaking the fourth wall to address us directly, stating it was time for a well-earned break. Now, many rumours swirled around online about who would be the main protagonist in the next Witcher game. From a player creation Witcher to a unknown character, the rumours were everywhere. But the main and most likely outcome was that Ciri would be the main character in the next game. It seemed the logical choice, as we literally get to play as her many times in The Witcher 3. And as the trailer showed, it shall be her indeed. Now, when I saw this, I was excited and yet a little worried. The only reason is because I love Geralt. But what shocked me is how upset some people were with this change. People all over the web voiced concern. Do they hate Ciri? Well, no, it's for many other reasons. I don't necessarily agree with these opinions, but I feel it's important to explain why people have reacted so badly to this 4-minute trailer, and in this video I will attempt to explain why. So let's get into it and find out why people are so upset with Ciri as the main character in Witcher 4. Quick side note, if you're new here, please consider subscribing. I have many exciting plans for 2025 and I live on fan feedback. I want to make videos for you, so please consider subscribing and let me know what topics you want covered. Anyway, back to the video. So there are a few reasons. The last one I will cover is probably the most important, in my opinion. The first is simply the fact that Ciri is not Geralt. A lot of Witcher fans, myself included, we adore Geralt. He is our hero. He brought us some of the greatest moments that we've experienced in gaming. He is the Witcher. We see much of ourselves within him. His sarcastic sense of humour, his continuous irritation at those around him, his inability to understand women at all. We can relate to him. So naturally, no matter who was going to take his spot, it was always going to upset some people. My opinion of it is like this: have an open mind. Do you remember when Red Dead Redemption 2 was announced and it was said that we wouldn't be John Marston? Everybody was upset because we loved John so much from the first game. Then Red Dead Redemption 2 came out and we played as Arthur. We fell in love with him even more, and when we got to play again as John Marston later on in the game, we pined to return to Arthur. The same might happen here. But even if it doesn't, Ciri was a phenomenal character in the previous games and is, alongside Geralt, the main character within the Witcher series. Some people may be upset, and that's totally normal whenever you change the main character that fans have come to love. The second reason is the fact that the new game will have only one main character and they are female. Some people just want to play as a male character, or at least have that choice. The thought of playing as a female is just not what they want. I can understand that taking Geralt to the Novigrad strip club will always be different as opposed to going there with Ciri. But we've had so many male main characters in video games that sometimes we gotta give others a chance. Think of most video game main characters and they're almost all male. When a female does get a chance to shine, we see Aloy from Horizon Zero Dawn, Lara Croft from Tomb Raider, and Max from Stranger Things. At the end of the day, times have changed. Back in the day, I think the gaming populace was pretty much 100% male, but now I think it's nearer 50-50. I feel it is unfair to shoot down a character before giving them a chance. Keep an open mind and see how it goes first. It is a big change for this series and for a lot of games in general, but instead of thinking of the worst case scenario, consider that it might even be better. The third reason is the fact that Ciri isn't actually a Witcher. She never underwent the mutation, so a lot of people fear that the game won't be the same. Your Witcher senses in Witcher 3 were a vital component used in almost every quest. Geralt's emotionless tone and backstory all related to his upbringing as a Witcher. The way people treated you, the way they hired you for side quests was all based on you being a Witcher. Ciri is not one. So some people fear that the game will have to be drastically different. However, I think that this may be different, but it can still be good in other ways. See, Ciri is literally the lady of space and time. She can teleport, she can control magic, she can fight well with a sword, and she was brought up in a Witcher school. There are plenty of ways that some elements can be replaced. She actually has more skills than Geralt when you come to think about it. Maybe she doesn't have Witcher senses, but she has something else related to magic. I don't actually feel that this will make a difference too much, and based on the Witcher 3 good ending, Ciri's goal was to become a Witcher anyway and work on the Witcher contracts, travelling the path. This all seems to fit in very nicely in my opinion. Now, the final reason, and the most important, is the reaction to her character design. So first of all, this was a CGI video of a game that is still in early development. So to assume that this is exactly how Ciri will look could be wrong. Case in point, look at this CGI video at the start of Witcher 3. Here's Geralt, here's Vesemir, and here is Yennefer of Vengerberg. Got them memorized? Well, less than 10 seconds after this CGI intro, the game begins, and this is how the characters really looked. Geralt, Vesemir, and Yennefer. Totally different, right? So you have to remember that Ciri will not look exactly like she does in this video, as CDPR has shown us the design of characters in-game versus CGI cutscenes are often very different. But that being said, let's discuss Ciri's appearance and the reaction. A lot of people have said that Ciri is less attractive than before and looks a lot more older. Here is a comparison. Now, we can explain away the age thing, right? It could be set in the future, and people do tend to age, I believe. Whether they get less attractive, I don't know. I was born ugly, grew up ugly, and most likely I'm planning the future to be ugly. But either way, people were upset at her features and considered her less attractive. So, why be upset? Well, it's because of a deeper issue within the gaming industry. Now, I've done a lot of videos on my take on the diversity, equity, and inclusion, and you can see them here. But there is another belief within the gaming industry which is within the same category. The controversy surrounding the depiction of ugly female characters in video games has been a hot topic in recent years. It often revolves around the perception that some games, particularly AAA studios, are deliberately designing female characters to appear less conventionally attractive, which has sparked debates in the gaming community. Some gamers believe that game developers are deliberately making female characters less attractive to adhere to certain social or political movements, like promoting realism, inclusivity, or challenging traditional beauty standards. Critics of this trend argue that it results in characters who look less appealing and accuse developers of pandering to woke audiences. Games like The Last of Us Part 2, Horizon Zero Dawn, and Forspoken have been at the center of this controversy. For instance, characters like Abby from The Last of Us Part 2 or Aloy from Horizon Zero Dawn were criticized for their appearances. Others, however, praised the characters for being more realistic, functional, and nuanced, arguing that they reflect broader diversity within gaming. This debate has split the gaming community. On one side are players who argue that video games, a form of escapism, should feature aspirational and idealized characters. On the other side are players and critics who value authenticity, saying that not all characters need to conform to the traditional standards of beauty. Platforms like Twitter and Reddit amplify the drama, with posts criticizing certain character designs for going viral. For example, Aloy's more rugged and naturalistic look in Horizon Forbidden West became a meme, with exaggerated comparisons labeling her more masculine. At its core, the drama highlights tensions between artistic freedom, evolving cultural norms and fan expectations. It's somehow become a conversation regarding political beliefs. For example, Joel was everybody's favourite character in the first The Last of Us. Then, he is killed off early by Abby, a muscle-bound woman. In Suicide Squad, Harley Quinn killed off fan favourite Batman. In both of these cases, it appears that the strong independent female has overpowered and replaced the main character of before, which just so happened to be a straight white male. Both of these games blew up online, with people expressing their opinions both ways. It really stirred up the hornet's nest, so to speak, and sparked a lot of controversy, and it all ties back to the DEI movement and its critics. Now, whether any of what I just said is right or wrong, true or false, it doesn't really matter. These fears exist within the gaming world and tensions are at an all-time high. So, when we see a less attractive, more masculine Ciri, quote unquote, whether right or wrong, it brings out those who strongly dislike and fear this movement. So to some people, they don't just see an older version of a main character in a game of which we knew she would most likely be the main character in. They see an agenda, a movement. Now again, whether that's right or wrong, it doesn't matter. My job, I feel, is to not criticize either side. It's all opinion based and nobody can have a wrong opinion. Everybody is entitled to one. My job is to inform and explain. I hope that this explanation has explained why some people have reacted so badly to this 4-minute trailer for The Witcher 4. So why are so many people upset with this Witcher 4 trailer featuring Ciri? Well, for all the reasons I've just stated. The gaming industry in general has become a pretty tense place recently. DEI is a very hot topic and I've done a few videos on it, but it will never go away. It will always be there, and I suspect we will see reactions like this to almost any video from a AAA game studio within the future. So, what's my thoughts on it? Well, first of all, as I explained, it was a CGI trailer. Until you see the gameplay, you won't know how the character truly looks in order to make judgments. I remember Silent Hill 2 Remake released character designs early on, and they listened to fan feedback and made changes before the full release, so the same might happen here. Either way, Ciri is the main character in Witcher 4. It makes perfect sense to me. It's who I would have voted for. She's an integral character within the Witcher series, and this was the natural next step. It was the logical choice. Geralt has finished his story, and it only makes sense for Ciri to continue hers. But never forget, Ciri is an incredible character. She has a lot of depth as a character, a lot of emotions, and she's pretty badass. I loved her from the perspective of Geralt, and I've always looked forward to playing her parts in The Witcher 3. She has so many unique skills, and I can't wait to see what CDPR bring to the table with this. If I had to pick my choice of a main character for Witcher 4, it was always going to be Ciri. She will make a great main character in my opinion, and I'm really looking forward to playing the game. I think that we as a gaming community need to wait for games to release before we jump to conclusions, and no matter what, we always get to have a say with our wallets. If The Witcher 4 ends up being full of political beliefs that you don't like to follow, don't buy it. That's how we end up having a say in anything. Some studios, I believe, do tend to push agendas. I've seen it too many times to say that it's not happening, but no matter your political beliefs, do you know who we all have to bend the knee to? The almighty dollar. Money talks and everything else tends to walk. Dragon Age Veilguard took a huge hit financially for its decisions, and most games that push agendas tend to fail commercially anyway. But as of right now, I feel it's unfair to jump to conclusions on this game. Let's wait for it to release and then see how it goes. In my personal opinion, I don't expect it to be better than The Witcher 3 anyway. That to me was the perfect game, and topping that will be almost impossible. I would love to be wrong, but Witcher 3 holds such a special place within my heart that I just can't see it. Either way, I am excited for The Witcher 4. Anyway, that's it for this one, but what do you guys think? Are you excited to play as Ciri? What's your take on the whole unattractive character movement? And do you feel it can match or exceed Witcher 3? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, please consider giving it a like, and if you're new here, please consider subscribing. I'm Av Gaming, where we do video game analysis, identifying what makes great games great and what could make good games great as well. Thanks for watching. Av out.